Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Baka.
What's up, guys?
It was not me this time. That was cats. It was the
Yeah,
cats.
sorry for the giggling. There are two cats. There's one cat that is extremely worked up and beating the shit out of her sister.
Oh.
And they are just going at it. So that they just got into it behind me, so I started laughing.
Great. Now that's good. Like, we're trying to fix all of the audio issues, and there's another one. Cats. Great.
Cats. It's very thematic for all of us.
Oh, my God.
Reliable at doing shit you don't want them to.
Pretty
at
much.
the perfect time.
Just like technology.
Yeah.
Cats do what they want.
Just like Baka.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why
He does
things
what he
blow up.
wants.
That is why things blow up. Anyway, this week we've been doing more Phasmophobia. Like, that's our life right now. And it probably will be, honestly, until about 2 weeks from now when I can start talking about Cyberpunk. So, I'm still looking forward to Cyberpunk, even though I know it's probably going to be terrible at launch because it's going to need 30,000 patches, because it's huge. Not the point. We'll find that out in 2 weeks. This week, though, we did get to do something new last night. We played the prison level. And by we, I mean, they made my sister and I go into the prison level for as long as we could stand it, and then we went back to the van and let them do it. It's scary. The sound of, like, prison bars, like, the doors opening, the metal doors opening and shutting far away from you is really, like, super unnerving. That when he said new sounds are scary, he was not kidding. It was not okay. It was not okay at all. Like, the first time we went into it, Red was eating dinner, and so it was me and Chicken and Kat and Baka, and like, they're like, okay, you have to go in because it's the first time we're playing this, and Kat just got the game. Like, last night was her first, dip the toe in, let's try this out kind of thing, and she's, she and I are similar with our anxiety, so it was one of those things where it's like, okay.
Y'all all about some trial by fire right there. I mean,
It wasn't the first one. We didn't make her do
it.
the first one as the prison. She got to do a house or two before we went to the prison thing. And the weird thing about it is you have to, like, manually set your game to the beta, which is the unstable build. And doing that is weird about the, assignments. Like, you go to the map and you can pick stuff out. And usually it's like, okay, well, you got a farm and a high school and a whatever. This is like at one point, I think it was Chicken or Baka one loaded up the map and it was 3 prisons and that was the only choice. Like,
That was me.
Two professionals and
I had
an
3
intermediate
prisons.
prison.
Yep. I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and leave. Well, sorry, somebody else.
Yeah, you just gotta cycle people in and out of the room until you get some jobs that you want to do. But it's weird that it kept putting, like, multiples of things. Baka had one of those 2 high schools, I think. It's like, stop, we just want to let my sister play in a house. A small house, preferably. She did okay in the houses, but the big ones, I think it's the same as me, where it's like you don't know your way out, and that makes it feel so much worse. So
You have to learn to map things in your head as you go. It's so critical to being, like, I mean, what happens if you ever get lost? You're like, well, fuck.
Yeah, pretty
Hopefully
much.
there's somebody
I mean,
here that can get me out.
but that's part of the scary part of the game, right? It's like, oh shit. See, and now you just gave him an idea, because if the man never listens to us, he can turn around and be like, what you need is walls that move.
It's like Layers of Fear, where you turn around and it's not the same place you came from.
And so, like, now the way you get out is different than the way you got in. And,
that is
like,
where I
4
would
different
stop
versions
playing
of the
that
same
game.
house.
Like, fuck that. No. If I can't see the exit or see the way to the exit from wherever I'm at in the place, I don't wanna. Like,
Or the ghost is able to shut and lock different doors throughout the house besides just the ones outside.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, somebody was like talking about that as a suggestion. Sometimes it'll lock doors. Like,
No.
it can lock doors, whatever room you're in, and it will lock it. And somebody from the outside has to let you out. Like, you can't open it from the inside. You have to
Okay,
have
but what
somebody come
happens
rescue you.
if it was like a situation where Baka had died and you were like, okay, well, I'm gonna run in and get a picture of his body, and you go in to get the picture and the ghost locks the door behind you, and you guys are playing just the 2 of you? What happens? Do you just have to stand in the room until the ghost murders you because you can't get out?
That is like a 5-minute timer. I doubt somebody's going to want to sit in there. If they're by themselves and they get locked in for 5 minutes, you best believe they leave in after that.
Yeah, but the thing is, you get locked in for 5 minutes and the ghost turns the power out and you're sitting in the dark, your sanity dips, and then you're by the time the 5 minutes is over, the ghost is hunting you.
Yeah, that's... Okay, first of all, that's a risk you take because every time you step back into that house, you can die.
It's
Like,
a bit OP, though.
It is.
It's a bit
Getting locked
OP.
into a room is like, okay. I mean, you get locked in the house and it'll kill you.
Yeah, but at least you have a
Well,
chance to
Bit
run.
OP, man.
Depending on the ghost, it would still make sense because I mean, demons like to kill.
Yeah, and I didn't say it has to
True.
be its room. It can lock you in any room. And just because it locks you in that room doesn't mean that when it hunts, it knows exactly where to go. Just like it can turn out the lights to the whole house.
And then I think if you did that, then you'd have to start allowing more than 2 crucifixes on the map.
Why?
So that you could always have
Have
one
you-
with you to throw it down in the room in case you do get locked in its room and you're stuck in there with your low sanity.
Have you ever seen the fucking patrol? Two crosses aren't nearly enough with how big the patrol routes are for some of these. Like, you've got one in the room, one in the center of the room, one in the hallway, one down the hallway, one in the other room, one in the bathroom.
You are
It's like,
just
motherfucker, I
solidifying
need-
why I do not go in the house once it's allowed to hunt. Like, you are just
Like-
explaining why I never leave the van. I'm just
You're
saying.
too afraid to get in there.
I don't want to die. It's scary. The ghosts are scary.
We're
It's part of the
eventually
fun,
going
though.
to get Griff killed. Just wait.
Well, that is my goal now, is to get her in the house during a hunt and get her to experience
The
ghost
best part of
hunting.
this will be, because I've experienced this as a parent, is when Nugget's big enough and he wakes up in the middle and y'all are playing this, after you thought he'd gone to bed, but he got up for some reason, and he walks in while you're playing this game, you might end up with a heart attack. It's really close because you're like...
I'll be honest, I don't get scared too often, and since he's right behind me, I'm gonna make sure that he scares the shit out of his mother. I'm gonna be like, go creak the door open, and then wait till I have her distracted, and I'll give you the signal, and then tap her on the shoulder.
Oh my god. Well, we'll have to see, because that would require this game to have quite some longevity, and as long as he's adding content at his current pace, I think he probably can keep it going for quite a while. We'll just have to see, because I know he wants to add new kinds of ghosts and new stuff, new levels and things like that, so he's got plans to make this a long-lasting thing. I just hope it does. I hope he's able, because it's one dude. Like, at some point, he's probably going to need some assistance, I would assume. I guess he just hangs out with all the people who made House Flipper.
Just keep doing it by himself and just raking the dough.
Well, yeah, but at some point, trying to do it by yourself and continuously put out enough content to keep the community going might become too much for just one person.
a little bit.
So,
especially as big as that community's getting too.
yeah, that thing is huge. Like, the Discord and the Reddit is just giant. Which is neat, because, I mean, you get to see lots of content, people posting all of their spookies and everything, but it is a lot of people to keep happy and interested in the long run. But the prison, I
My
think,
favorite ghost is the faceless child.
oof. Yeah, there needs to be some more ghost models, so that it keeps it kind of interesting and going, because that one is pretty terrifying. Watching that one, I watched it last night. That one went on a hunt, and it was on all fours. Like, any of the ones that are on all fours are creepy, but the little kid one on all fours is, like, the worst. I was watching
Little kids are creepy anyway.
Yeah, watching it
That's very
in
true.
the green night vision stuff, and just this tiny thing crawling by super fast. Nope. But
Too funny.
that's pretty much what I did. I played some Skyrim last week, which I'm still uploading Skyrim stuff, and that's been a lot of fun. And I started Dragon Age again because it's something that I can do and walk away from at any point, because stuff like that is easy to play while I'm taking care of Nugget. It's like, I know what's happening, it's enjoyable for me, and I can pause it and walk away at any second. Just, What about you guys?
Nice. I played some Modern Warfare this week. Of course, with my regular crew on Monday, and also played during the day, which normally I play something else during the daytime, and then Monday evening play Modern Warfare. But I went in, pretty much did the full day on Modern Warfare. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm gonna rant about it anyway because I'm pretty positive this is what they're doing.
Okay.
And it would not surprise me because it's fucking Activision.
Oh. Okay.
So, you know, we always had this kind of thought process when they created a free to play Warzone, that because they're using guns from Modern Warfare. One of my bitches about that was it's basically people that have Modern Warfare, and were playing it. You had they had lots of times that they could play into multiplayer, and the multiplayer would allow them to be able to boost their guns a lot quicker, and therefore, so to get their sights and do all that type of stuff, to be able to build their gun a lot quicker than Warzone would, just because of the way the gameplay itself is set up.
Okay.
And so it's kind of a pay to win situation. I am 99% sure that Cold War compared to Modern Warzone, Modern Warfare takes longer to boost your guns. And it means to me that they're literally making Warzone pay to win, because they're requiring you to pay for their $50-$60 game to be able to boost your guns quicker before you go into Warzone. Now, it could be that they've changed their algorithm in Warzone to where, because you're playing Warzone, they're compensating for that and allowing you to be able to boost your gun quicker. But I'm going to say no. That's probably not what's going to happen. The guns are supposed to be released all this week into Warzone. And I'm livid about it, because it's one of those where it's like, you've already raped these people when it came to their money. Their pockets are just freaking just destroyed because you figured out a way to get as much money out of these people as possible, and now you're increasing that even more. Like me, I'm not a Warzone player. I'm fine with playing the regular games if it's something I enjoy doing, but absolutely insane doing it that way. So yeah, it's just I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy to me that they're absolutely just deciding that they're going to end up making it to where you have to buy their game in order to be able to succeed in Warzone. I could be wrong. They could have changed that up. I'm not 100% sure. I do apologize for using the word while ago that I did use. I was just frustrated at the time. The other thing that I ended up playing this week is I went ahead and got on sale. If anybody took advantage of Black Friday sales, I ended up buying Avengers. Avengers itself is plotline wise is not bad. And the gameplay is not bad. It's how to get from point A to point B that's the problem. Like, I like the plot. I like how they've surrounded it. Your main character that you're playing as is female, to be able to basically unlock all the Avengers for part of your plot line. But it's kind of sporadic on how they did it. But the gameplay itself plays very, very, very similar to Spider-Man, which is funny because technically he's part of the Avengers, but he's not in this game.
Oh,
but
okay.
It depends on when you're talking about when he's supposed to be part of the Avengers. Sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't.
Well, but at some point he is,
really.
so therefore it is. But I think it's funny because it's literally where, like, they figured out the gameplay when it came to the combat and everything else needs to be very similar to that, but feel a little bit different. They did a good job of that. The different, like, Thor feels different than, say, Iron Man does. Hulk feels a whole lot different than any of them do. And so they've done a really good job. I will say, my favorite character is the Hulk, not to play as, but as Dr. Bruce Banner. And it might be because Troy happens to be the voice. I'm just gonna say, but he does an amazing job in the plot line. He's helping me push past some of the problems I'm having with the game. But overall, it's pretty cool. I am getting utilize one of the features for PS5, which I think is really cool. Which I have my PS4 upstairs, and as long as you're on the same internet connection, you can actually just start your PS5 from your PS4 and play the game on your PS4 from there. It just streams it over. So that's kind of nice.
We'll go back to your
That's
Warzone
pretty much all I
thing.
did.
I don't know why you would be shocked that they gave you something free that eventually they wanted you to pay to
I'm
win
not shocked. I'm just irate. There's a difference.
Yeah, it's Activision. There's literally no way they were gonna be like, here's some goodwill because we're good people.
You have to think that this is the same company with Call of Duty that has been doing. Oh, okay, give us $60 for the game, and then give us another $50 for the season pass for all the maps for that year, and then next year you're going to do it again, and that was their thing for years.
It's still their thing.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to buy the game and then
Yeah,
the
it's still
DLC
their thing.
stuff or battle passes.
They do battle passes. You don't have to buy battle passes. You can unlock as you go, but people still end up doing it because it gives them free stuff on top of that.
It's not free. You paid for it.
Yeah.
Well, but it gives you extra stuff on top of it that's cosmetic. And so I think that's where, but it's frustrating because you've got Cold War that just came out, which is set in the 80s. This gave you an opportunity to be able to create a new Warzone-like map and just have those two worlds. And right now, as far as I know, there's only one map still. And it's like, give us another BR map if you're going to do that. That's set in this, because I mean, how cool would it be? Because the way, I don't know if y'all are familiar about how the Warzone map is created, but it's literally they took the multiplayer maps and basically joined them all together with some extra stuff added into it to make a big map. And so some of the stuff is exactly the same, and it's a cool idea. So you could do the same thing with the 80s stuff that they've got from Cold War, and you know, play the same way, and just have two separate maps and make them feel different.
They Frankenstein patched the maps together to go, oh look, here's a big one.
Yeah, but it's a big one that's standalone for Warzone, and I guess that's like the weirdest new way to do a demo. Where it's like, here's your battle map, you know, we've got Warzone, so you can use all of the guns from this game. And isn't this cool? Do you want more of this? Because we're only giving you this one map. So if you want to play with these cool guns and these cool mechanics we have this other game we can sell you. And then another game comes out and they're like, we put all of the cool guns in so that you can try them out in Warzone. Aren't they cool? Don't you want to buy the game that they actually go with so that you have to spend the money on it? I mean, like, it's the weirdest demo idea ever, I think.
Well, and I haven't checked yet, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if Modern Warfare still costs $60.
I'm sure it does.
Even though Cold War's come out.
Call of Duty doesn't go on sale until like 3 years after. It's like once it's coming up on that studio's turn again, their previous game will go on sale.
Some of it doesn't even go on sale.
Well, that's true.
I mean,
I think it'd be interesting to see with the Call of Duty, because every game has its fans that's like, once that game comes out and they really fall in love with it, they stay there, and then everybody else moves on. I'd like to see like what the staggering is on the more popular previous iterations and how big their player base still is. Like, just from a numbers standpoint, that'd be kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, those games are fast. Like, they move away fast, and how many people stay, and then how many people go.
For reference, Black Ops 3 on Steam is still $60.
When did that one come out? That seems like a few years ago, right?
That was Black Ops 3 was the game before Modern Warfare.
Okay.
And it was the standalone. There's no campaign on that game at all.
Oh yeah, it's that
and
one.
It's $60. Mm-hmm.
Got you. $60 multiplayer.
Yeah.
Just like Titanfall.
Came out in 2015, 5 years ago.
Damn. I thought it was okay. Well,
I thought it was since then.
I thought it was
Call
like
of
3
Duty
years
Black
ago.
Ops 3 was released August 19th of 2015, so over 5
Black
years
Ops 3.
ago.
No, Black Ops 3 was the one that was the before the boots on the ground comment. Basically, that was the one before it, and then they had that stupid space one that came in the year after it.
Infinity?
That's what it was. Black Ops 4 is what I was think of, where it was multiplayer only. That's what it was. Yeah.
There's so many of them that they just blend together, and we don't know when anything actually came out. They all sound the same. But to a Call of Duty fan, I'm sure that they could tell you everything about it.
Because the space ones where they did the remastered version of Call of Duty 4.
Yeah.
And they did it, and then they finally gave us a standalone later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was still like $40, I think.
Activision is
There
the
are
king of
18 Call of Duty games.
Activision's the king of how can
18.
we make the most money off of one person. Like that is
Mm-hmm.
that is their whole mission in life. It's not let's put out any sort of decent products. It's how can we make the maximum amount of money for the least amount of effort.
Well, and some of the things
Okay.
they've done, like so far when it comes to the actual storyline and everything else, on Cold War, I think I said it before. Whoever it was that did the artwork on Ronald Reagan, holy crap! Like that person, like it's just amazing to me. Like it looks like Ronald Reagan. I
They
was
got
like,
all
that's
of his wrinkles
amazing.
right.
Like they did better than the voice actor did doing Ronald Reagan.
That's funny.
Like the voice actor's not bad, don't get me wrong, but most of us at some point have heard a Ronald Reagan speech and know that voice very well. So, and like in my case, I grew up as him as president, so I get it. But it was like it was crazy to me. I'm like, holy crap! But graphically, it's a beautiful game. They did a great job on the storyline so far. That I've done. I'm taking my time because I know it's going to be just like Modern Warfare, where it's gonna take me 6 hours to beat the fucking game,
and then
probably.
you're done forever.
And then I'm done, and I'm like, oh, well, okay. But then I can delete that part of the thing, and delete it, and at least it takes part of, it gives me part of my hard drive back.
That's another
it's
weird thing that
just-
we do now. It's like pick and choose which piece of this game that you would like to install. Because they're
Since games get
massive
so damn
otherwise. What?
Is it because they're so damn big? You
They
can't
are. They're
install
so
all of them.
huge. Right? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
but Call of Duty's absurdly big. Warzone should not be 120 gig on its own.
Look at all those
like-
maps that they mushed together, though, and stuff.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't know.
It's just like, come on.
Oh, meanwhile, Nintendo's over here. Look at our tiny cartridges, you guys.
I know,
I'm telling
right?
you, if the next Switch is in 4K, I'm gonna flip out. I'm
Uh,
gonna absolutely flip out if they're able to get a cartridge this big with freaking 4K on it.
To be fair,
Yeah.
they are ahead of everybody in technology.
Nintendo will figure a way.
Looking at this list of all the main series of the Call of Duty, the biggest gap from 2003 to now has been 2 years between a game.
yeah.
2 years. And that was back in 2003. When the original came out in 2003 and the second one came out in 2005. And from 2005 to 2020, there's been a Call of Duty game every single year for the last 15 years. First of all, that makes me feel real fucking old because I remember picking up Call of Duty, the first one, when it originally came out on the GameCube. And that was on the GameCube, right? The original one? I'm pretty sure.
No, that wouldn't have been right. 2003?
I don't know where
2003.
any of these things lie in a timeline, to be honest. I'm bad with time.
N-Gage.
Well, I mean, 7
It
years
came
ago
out on
would
the
have been.
N-Gage?
I don't even know what that is. I won't even lie
It
to you.
It's a handheld.
Is
It was a smartphone that combined the features of a mobile phone and a handheld system developed by Nokia.
Yep.
So it means it lasts forever, and somebody's probably still playing it right now. Right
Yes.
alongside Snake.
Yes, probably.
Yeah, but
I
early
think
2000s
they
is when
had
they
a
came
Tony
out
Hawk
with.
game on that one.
What, Baka?
What was that, Baka?
Said I think they had a Tony Hawk game on the N-Gage as well.
Probably.
I think that's right. I think I remember a commercial for it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have in the magazines, you'd see the thing, and on N-Gage.
Yeah, it did come out on GameCube. Okay, good. I'm not crazy. Anyway. But yeah, that's crazy. For the last 15 years, the biggest gap between the Call of Duty games was the original two.
I don't think there's
And that was
any
2
other
years.
franchise that's managed that same thing, like with that regular of a consistency and had that
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
there
fan
are.
base carry over.
Watching the
But
developers
Madden.
too, like Sledgehammer just disappears. They do 2 games and then they're out. They're like, okay, we're gonna slide these guys in here. Okay, no, not anymore. We're getting rid of them. It's like, okay, why did they disappear?
Are you sure they disappeared
Infinity
and didn't
Ward
become
takes
a
over.
new studio?
Did they become Raven Software then?
I don't know. I'm just
No,
saying.
they're
is that a
no longer.
possibility?
The game that's out now, Cold War, was supposed to be Sledgehammer's, if I'm not mistaken.
It's
and-
Raven Software worked on this.
And it's
one.
Raven Software that ended up doing it, but it was supposed to be Sledgehammer's turn, because I think they were in charge of the Black Ops series, right?
Sledgehammer. No, Sledgehammer was they did Advanced Warfare, then they did World War II, and I guess they should have been the ones to do the Cold War.
Okay. So I think this was supposed to be theirs, and I want to say they pulled out while it was in production, but I can't remember what the details was on it. I don't know. Activision probably pulled them out to go, I don't know, make a really bad game of some sort.
Probably something terrible.
I mean, because Sledgehammer's a good company. Because I want to say Sledgehammer's who did the second Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, but Activision's also really good at. It's the same thing that EA does, which is we now own this company that was really good, and we have tainted them.
Infinity Ward did Modern Warfare 2. Now Sledgehammer did help on Modern Warfare 3 with Infinity Ward. It's like they the main two are Treyarch and Infinity Ward. Mm-hmm. Those are the two main dogs. If you want to work on a Call of Duty game, you have to work with one of those two until they give you the reins to allow you to do it. Because the Sledgehammer works with Infinity Ward for the first one, and then Raven Software works with Infinity Ward on the newest one, the Warzone, and Raven Software works with Treyarch doing the Black Ops Cold War. So you have to work with one of those two. Those are the two main.
There's too many universes, and I know because I was talking to some friends of mine that are streamers, and they said they buy every other one. So every other Modern Warfare is what they buy, but this one's forcing their hand to buy it because of the way it's set up.
I wish that I could get some developers over to my house to force my hand onto the keyboard and make me buy it.
It's a little different when you make your living doing it, though.
Holy shit,
was
man.
the point.
Hey, all I'm saying is don't pigeonhole yourself into something like that.
You know, when you make good money doing it, you do what you got to do. So they make good money doing it, but you know, not everybody does. But you know, it's a little different. But I just think that's part of the reason they changed the whole setup. I think they've changed it to where they're if you want to play Modern Warfare or you want to play Warzone, then you're gonna have to buy this basically to get your guns up to where we need them to be. And then they're just going to nerf him anyway, so it really doesn't fucking matter. Once they get him into the game, they're going to get nerfed. So it's like, oh, okay, good. I just paid, $70 or $60, whatever the game costs for a nerfed gun. It's like, go on.
That stuff is so weird to me. I just don't. I guess I'm too stuck in like the Halo mindset. It's like, just give everybody the option of, do you want an assault rifle or a BR? Okay, go. There's a rocket launcher in the middle of the map. Go get it.
Yeah.
Well, the meta on all the guns is crazy to me. Like, I don't understand. And then the meta changes because they'll nerf a gun or, buff one or whatever. That's weird,
too. They shoot bullets. Here's the deal. This gun has a base fire rate. Why does it change, 3 months after I've had this gun? Oh, because it's a video game. Okay, yeah, but if we all just had the same kinds of guns, the same options with the same kind of format, it would be less balancing and more playing.
It's because they have to have some sort of driving factor to bring players back. Like, I'm going to take Apex as the perfect example. Is in my opinion, shooter games shouldn't have metas. I think it gets real weird when they try to create metas inside of shooters, but they do that so that when they release a season, they're like, oh, these guns are getting nerfed and these guns are getting buffed, and then people come back and they have to try different play styles and try out different guns and things like that, and it creates a new, fresh experience. And because all of these games and all of these companies are constantly competing with each other, they've got to keep it fresh, and they've got to keep drawing people back in. If it's always the same guns and it's always the same characters, it gets real stale, and people are just going to be like, okay, whatever, there's nothing fresh, and then leave onto your competitor's game, who is constantly changing and evolving. Like, we are in such a fast pace. Come on, people, we're old here. We've seen this. We've been through this so many times over the last several years that they just have to constantly draw in people, or else their game is just going to fall apart and die.
I mean, that makes sense.
Too much money.
It does. It's just definitely not my... I don't want to have to worry about the meta of the guns. I don't mind games like Overwatch, where it's like, here are these characters that do specific things. Pick your character and with the with the play style that you like, because those are going to be a team effort, I guess, more than pick which gun has the best stats and can fire this many bullets at this rate and through this many sheets of glass at one time and things like that. Or like, I think that's so weird. It's like, or you can pick this gun that you need to spend 375 hours leveling up so that you can put a trinket on the end so that you can shoot further or something ridiculous.
See,
like, that's not my cup of tea. That's too much.
I think that's what PUBG did really well. PUBG made it to where you picked up a gun, you found attachments to put onto the gun.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yes.
And so that changed how the gun worked based on what you found. Where what Modern Warfare does is they have you grind out the different attachments, and then you change the attachments based on your play style. What do you want to have a more powerful gun? Do you want to go more at range? Do you want to do close up? You know, what kind of, you know, I shouldn't have 30 options for freaking sights. 10 of which are basically all reflex, and you just decide which one you want. You know,
I have a question because I'm not this. I know this genre is not my cup of tea, but you guys have all played in it and everything. Which feels worse of these two scenarios? Playing something like PUBG where you're like, oh fuck, I just got murdered by this dude that found all of the cool stuff, and RNG didn't find anything, and that, you know, I'm dead now. Or, oh man, I'm dead because that guy over there's got a gun that I know he played a $60 game that I'm not playing so that he could level up his guns, and I didn't get that gun. Which one of those scenarios is,
in my opinion,
like, just a curiosity?
In my opinion, it feels a lot worse for the Call of Duty side because that guy will just drop his loadout every time and kill you the same way. The other dude in PUBG has to get lucky every single time, and there is a good chance that the coin can flip on your side and you get to be the one to snipe his ass out.
That makes
But
sense.
with the other one, the
we've
dude
had
is just going to get the
several
loadout
games.
and kill you every time. And
The only
We've had
difference
several
there.
games.
I think the only
in-
difference to me is the gameplay itself too, though. So like with PUBG, the guns don't feel the same. There's something that's very smooth about, like with Halo, the mechanics on Halo are fantastic. They feel good to shoot. It's the same thing with Call of Duty. They've done a really good job of honing in how those guns feel to you. Where PUBG, to me, that's where it lacks. And I think that's the reason a lot of people backed away from it. It didn't feel good to them.
the gunplay is just a little, yeah. Just to put it in terms, a little,
What's the scientific term for it? What were
Yes.
you saying, Baka? I'm sorry, you tried to say it twice, but for some reason, this specific thing cuts your mic off and will let everybody talk over you, and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know on that either. But with the PUBG thing, like, you know, we had several games where we would get into the game and die because we couldn't find any
Yeah, I've
good
heard
gear.
you guys bitch about
And
that.
then we've had other games where we drop in and we find all the good gear,
Yeah.
like everywhere.
Okay.
So
I feel like
it
that
balances itself out.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Okay.
And that's kind of what, in my opinion, a BR should be. Even Apex does it that way. They drop you in and all the shit's there, and you got to be the lucky ones to find it. And I again think that that's not a very good competitive style. Where I think if you did it Call of Duty way, where you get to build your loadout and then you drop in with your full loadout, that's fine. That's a competitive. Like, you could do a competitive game like that in a full BR style, where everybody gets to choose their loadout and then drop in, and you remove the RNG, and then it's just based on pure skill at that point. Like,
Right.
the more competitive you get, the less RNG has to be in it.
Yeah.
Right.
I know we've got other stuff to talk about, but it made me think of a question, and I just want to ask because you mentioned the gunplay. Most satisfying weapon in a game for you out of everything. What is it? You're just like, I love the way this weapon
of all
handles.
games?
Yes, out of all games. I love the
games?
way this weapon handles. It's satisfying to murder somebody with it.
Halo shotgun.
Right?
Halo shotgun.
Yes!
I'm sorry.
I'm going to have to go to Halo 2, and I got to say the Spartan laser, there's no greater feeling than that baby charging up and a dude walking over the hill just to get his face blasted off and his body just tumble back down. It's like, that's right, buddy. Or all the special kills, like killing myself with a Banshee falling out of the sky. Like, that weapon right there is just beautiful in the shit that it can do.
The shotgun just
about you, Baka?
feels good, though. It's got a nice kick to it, that nice snap. Just reloading it feels nice. I love that shotgun. The Halo shotgun is, like, the best.
Don't play second extension shotgun.
No.
Gosh.
It's bad.
What about you, Baka? Like,
You got to update it.
Yeah, what's your favorite
You
gun
should
in
know the answer to
all
this.
games?
What, Micah?
You should know the answer to this.
It's the hammer.
Oh,
he
the
likes
hammer.
the Halo
Yeah,
hammer.
It's the
Say.
hammer.
It's the hammer.
I love that
I
all
like
of our
that.
answers
Wait,
like
we
Yeah,
should all
those-
know. It's like hammer.
Oh
It's like,
my God.
trust me,
I-
there's
I-
no weapon, in
I
my
used
opinion,
to
that
duck
Baka likes.
walk around with the hammer and sneak up and just kill people.
I hate you for that because a lot of times it's I'm gonna kill this bad guy whilst my teammates are standing next to me and the grab hammer is an AoE that murders all of us at the same time.
It's beautifully over dramatic too. Like you stealth, and then it's just nuclear
Well,
bomb
bam.
from behind, boom, and he just goes scattering. I was like,
And the multiplayer aspect is where I did all the duck walking.
Yeah.
So after a while, they tried to make sure that I could not get the hammer anymore. Because on the levels while they're running around killing each other, I'm just duck walking, so I'm not picked up on the radar. And I just pop out from corners and just kill them.
You know, now that you've said it, I can hear the noise of that hammer, like, specifically. Because
So
it
can
has
I.
a specific blam sound to it, you know?
boom, boom.
I will say the Halo Needler is also, it's cheap, but it's satisfying. Because it's just all those little needles and, like, 2 seconds later something explodes.
Yes.
Think of all the people that, like, when noob combo became a thing.
Oh.
And with the dual wielding.
Ooh. Pop. Oh, I still hear that shit humming in my nightmares. You're like, oh god, I hear someone's running around the corner with it. Did you just turn the corner and you see that little green beam? And it's like, oh no.
I will
Pop.
say,
Damn
I
it.
think outside of the Halo series, one of my other satisfying weapons is like Assassin's Creed 2, like stealth killing somebody with the hidden blade. You're just walking by in a crowd and you're like, shank,
That's not a
keep
gun.
walking in the crowd. Like, oh, it feels so good. Oh, it feels good to be bad.
But are you being bad? Come on.
I mean, they were a bad
You're not
person.
killing regulars. You're not killing regular civilians, so you're fine.
That's true. Or you kill somebody on the roof. Assassin's Creed 2, like the Ezio series is really big in this. But you kill somebody on the roof and their body falls, you walk up behind them and do that shank thing and then he lets them go and starts to walk away. But it's the roof, so they start sliding off and then they fall on the ground and you just hear people go, "Oh my god!" from down below. Like, it's not the weapon itself in that scenario. It's the chaos that you accidentally created because the body slid off the roof. Oh, so good.
I just thought about my second favorite weapon happens to be Halo related too, which is the damn pistol.
Oh my god, Halo 1 pistol with
Halo
that zoom
1.
on it? Yeah.
Yes. OP as
When
hell.
they took
shooting
that
people
away,
from the other side of the map.
That's one thing Bungie did really well is they gave you some really memorable weapons. Because I'll say what this weapon is and I guarantee you will hear the sound. Fuel rod cannon. That fucking basketball launch of that thing. You can just hear it. Oh my god.
Boom, boom.
Yes! Why does that thing bounce? Sorry. That's just, there's some satisfying weapons in games, and I think that plays into your enjoyment of the game. If you have a mediocre otherwise gameplay, but this one weapon that you love to death, you're probably gonna replay that game at some point.
Well, that's why you would go through with the sword, right? And everybody knows that sound
Yes.
as soon as it pops up, right? So,
Or the
you know,
sound that
and
it
you just
makes
go
when
through.
it's like two people hitting each other with them? Yes.
yes.
Oh god, there's never a more tense moment when you're both hitting each other with the swords and you hear it clash and you're like, who's gonna be the first one to fucking miss?
Or the worst thing ever is you hear psst, and you're like, where is it? I'm about to explode because it's stuck to your back by your friend, right, Baka?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sticky grenades were the best.
Or just drive the warthog over.
Yes. Oh man.
Are you playing on was it Lookout or whatever that has the like the ramps and stuff and it's like kind of sitting out on its own and everybody playing on that one and the next thing you know somebody sword launched themselves off the fucking map. It's like we were yeeting before it was cool, man. Just telling you.
I'm glad I had not taken my sip of that water before you said that because it would have come out my nose. Oh man. Some good times. It's hard to really nail things like that where like I can immediately see and hear this weapon or this mechanic. Like Bioshock's good for that too. All the plasmids and stuff. Like the fact that you have the bees plasmid equipped, so every once in a while you just hear the bees because it comes out of your hand. It's so good. I love the bees. Sorry. Chicken Baka, we didn't really give you a lot of time to talk about what you did this week outside of me talking about
We're already
Phasmophobia.
40 minutes in.
I don't even care. This is good. This is fun, organic conversation. Also, we got to talk about fuel rod cannons and shotguns.
Have you played this week, Baka?
Mainly just the Phasmophobia game, but with you guys.
Yeah, we're addicted.
And a little bit of WoW, but not much. I've been painting. I did an octopus. I've got to do the base for it at some point. I'm thinking I want to do like a sand and see if I can find some really tiny shells and maybe make a tiny little starfish.
Cute! I like it. What about you, Chicken?
But I got to play with color shifting paints with it, so when you turn it in the light, it alters colors.
It's pretty.
And if you guys want to see that, join my Discord over there, and you can see pictures of it.
Yeah, there's links down below in most things.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Down
I don't
below.
know how the link thing goes over to Spotify, because that gets sent over from Podbean, so I'm not sure if you're listening on Spotify how you do that. Just go to our YouTube channel or our Twitter. It's on Twitter. We're at Infinite Res PC. You can find us there. What about you, Chicken?
I've leveled my rogue. I'm at 50 now. Only got 10 levels left to go before cap. I need PvP in my life. I feel like that's what I've been missing in my WoW life. And that's all I've been playing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
wait, no, never
we haven't
mind.
done as much WoW because we're right before next. We'll have stuff to talk about this coming show because
That's
next
not all you've
frame
been
is...
playing?
Yeah, I know. I was about to go back in.
No, I'm sorry.
But Griff,
Go ahead.
Griff
I was
jumped
just
in.
saying.
Okay.
Go ahead. My bad.
No, it's fine. It's fine. This next week is a big raid for WoW, like the final one for Classic, and then we will see where we go after this. But as I have said before, I was going to start streaming again, and I finally got to because I got all of my stuff, and I got my game, and I have started. And first of all, I am really, 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 really bad at this game so far. I die constantly. It's unbelievable. It's like I'm the one starting these fights, and I'm getting my ass kicked. It's like Ghosts of Tsushima. You gotta, I guess, put the.
I know
emphasis on
the
T.
reasoning behind why you're so bad now, Chicken.
Why?
All your talent and skill have been put into your spawn.
Oh, yep. You gave it away. You made Nugget.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to
Yeah.
wait till he's bigger and he can show you up.
I just need to practice because I'm playing it a bit like I was playing Sekiro when I first started. Like I'm being too fast and too aggressive, and I'm not kind of playing the tempo of the fights. I can see it. It's just that my hands aren't doing what I want them to do yet because I'm learning the controls and kind of getting like I'm getting better and whatnot. But it's still taking me a little time to get there. But man, it is brutal. 100% brutal. I did turn the difficulty down for the record. I got my ass kicked, and then I realized that it was not the difficulty kicking my ass; it was just the game.
It was the mechanics.
Yes, the game is incredible. I am enjoying the shit out of it so far. It's huge. I'm probably going to be playing this for quite a while.
It's supposed to have 40 or 60 hours of gameplay, right?
Yeah, it's got a lot of hours of gameplay. It's like Red Dead meets Assassin's Creed is kind of the way that I could put it in feudal Japan. It is
does have
because
ponies.
there's a lot of movement to
You got
it
to
too.
choose
like,
the pony.
I did.
Yeah.
I picked the
It's
best
a lot
one.
more vertical than Red Dead because Red Dead
Well, I
he
mean-
can't climb houses. He doesn't know how to. He
No,
can't
because
climb
because
houses.
it's like super realistic about fall damage, and he's a cowboy, not a ninja or samurai. Or I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Samurai? Is that what we are?
He is a samurai.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Samurai.
Arthur's just a dude falling off a roof. He's probably gonna break his leg. Your dude's like gonna do a triple flip off the roof and be just fine.
First of all, that's a little assuming. Second of all, no, I had to get a talent that makes it so that he could roll when he lands. Where the hell did you get the triple flip from?
Because he's
and second of
fancy.
all, so far the one thing that just gets me every time is that whenever he falls off a ledge or anything, even if it's small, it's like he's a fucking rock. He goes wham, and then just walks wham, and then he just looks like, Jesus, how much does this dude weigh?
You know, he falls heavy, but for a long time before you figured out how to like have him casually get off the horse, he was straight ejector seating off of the horse. Like he would just fly off of it like he was spring loaded. It's like, what is going on? What does this guy not know how to get off horses normally? What is the deal?
Yeah. Yeah, so I learned how to get off the horse casually.
You had to learn how to get off the horse. You had to learn how to dismount. Wow.
Yes.
I do find it funny though. You were talking about getting your ass handed to you, and I made a comment about this during your stream. Is the fact that you literally would pick a fight with dudes that like barely had any clothes on, didn't look like they had $1 to their name, and get your ass handed to you. Then you have to go into an entire village and wipe everybody out in the village. You die by the hand of the farmer, and the village you can wipe out. It made no sense.
Yeah, like
to me
all of the
whatsoever.
armed dudes that look scary in the village are like no big deal. But that dude in the field that's wearing like a diaper, yeah, he's serious. Like...
Again, learning the tempo of the fights. Like I was taking them too fast, trying to be too aggressive. Sometimes, because most of the time, they'll let you kind of go one-on-one because in my mind they don't want to get in each other's way, so they kind of give each other a little bit of space, which gives you an opportunity to try to fight them one-on-one. You got to make sure that you dodge properly for the spear guys or the shield guys. You have to change stances based on who you're fighting, and it's just, you got to watch out for the other people behind you. You've got to make sure that you parry. There's just so much to constantly be aware of in the fights, because especially when you're surrounded, you're like, well, shit, there's like 12 of these people here. I'm about to get my ass kicked. And to make the game kick you while you're down, which it does all the fucking time, when you lose a fight, the people just disappear. They're like, okay, you're just bad. We'll just let them go.
Yeah, that happens with random stuff in Red Dead too. And I think it's happened a couple of
It's like,
times
oh,
in
you
Skyrim, where
died?
it's like
Go
you
ahead and
had to
just-
get reset, so obviously these things are gone now. Like, no, wait,
Yeah.
I know I can do it. Bring it back.
I do really enjoy all the different styles of fighting that you can do, because you can do a standoff whenever you're coming up against anybody. You can trigger a standoff, which means you walk up, you're like, hey, bring out your strongest guy. You time it right, you instantly one-shot them. And I have it fully upgraded, so the next 2 people that charge me, I instantly one-shot them. And it's a
Jeez.
good way to kind of thin the numbers at the start. Or you can try to assassinate them. Upgrading your weapons does it. Also, this isn't your stereotypical stealth game, because there are consequences to being stealth, because your character is a samurai. They
Okay.
live honor-bound.
And
So
stealthing
he
not
is having
honorable?
an existential, he's having an existential crisis because he is killing people without looking at them in the eye. And at one point when I assassinated someone, it did a flashback to where his uncle was like, hey, don't ever kill anybody without looking them in the face.
Ew,
it's like,
feels
oof.
bad, man.
Oof.
Feels bad.
Yeah, like you actually feel like you're in this period where you're like, you're doing what you have to do. Absolutely. But honor has been so drilled into his head that breaking that code is just tumultuous to his character. And it's really good so far. I'm enjoying the writing, and I could definitely see why the Japanese culture was really excited and happy about this portrayal of their style. So, because it was really popular in Japan. Like, they love it when
Yeah.
the Western takes on it.
That's also the difference between a samurai and a ninja, where the samurai are taught and raised that this is how you kill someone. You look them in the eyes, and and honor and everything. The ninja are trained to be like, that doesn't matter. They just get the job done.
Yep, exactly. So it's interesting to watch his kind of character dynamic change from being a samurai to like kind of shifting towards that other side, because he doesn't necessarily like it, but he completely understands it is necessary. I mean, you're outnumbered 1 to like 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to do what you got to do. It's basically guerrilla warfare at this point. I'm enjoying it. I'm probably going to stream more tomorrow because I really want to just play more. It really is just me running around on my horse, going to all different parts of the island and just doing random shit. There's always something to do somewhere.
Yeah.
Also, the navigation style is really well done because it's the wind that blows you in the direction. So you just
like
swipe
it
up
because
and
it's
the
like
wind
Wind
will
Waker.
blow. Yeah, you can also change the weather depending on what you want. You can make it sunny, you can make it rainy, you can make it stormy, you can make it dark.
How?
You asked me to play the flute?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, playing the flute changes the weather. But I only have one song so far. It's so that you could get your own pictures. You can do, like, since they made it so pretty, they wanted to make sure that you could kind of
Use picture mode?
get into it any way that you want. Like, if you want to play it, some people like it when it's stormy, so you can change the weather to stormy, and you can just kind of play in that. Or if you like it bright, or if you like it dark, or things like that.
Dark because I
Very
have the
interesting.
night.
Yeah, I'm not Batman yet.
The haiku thing was pretty cool, too. So, liked it.
Yeah.
We want to get into some news.
Yeah, we can quickly gloss over a lot of this stuff, probably.
Red Dead's getting a standalone multiplayer since people like to save space on their hard drives.
Yeah, that's weird. It's supposed to be $20, but from the time that it comes out until February 15th, I think, it's like $5. So
I may grab it just for the hell of it.
Yeah,
I think the
may grab it
downside
too,
is
just because I like
getting it on
Will-
PC is going to be iffy because they have the same modder problem and hacker problem as GTA Online, and the same I don't care, I'm going to ban
massive.
anybody in the area. Rockstar team is dealing with it. Like,
Yep.
but
That's
for
what I was about
$5,
to say. I've got lots of friends that stopped playing it because of all the hackers. They said it was so bad.
Well, if it's like GTA where you can just kind of do like
a private
your
lobby.
own little private server or whatever. Well, not really private, but just do your like by yourself without other players and just invite friends.
Yeah,
Because that's what we did in GTA.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, for $5, that might be worth it. Also, it's 123 gigs, so for the standalone online experience. Okay,
Rockstar get bought by Activision. We weren't paying attention.
I
What happened?
don't know, man. That is just huge.
I actually will give them the benefit of the doubt because the way their game is designed versus, like their game in general is designed versus the way that Warzone's done. Because Warzone's one big fucking giant map, and I mean I'm assuming the online has some type of co-op stuff like the GTA stuff does. I don't know, not 100%, but
You can join groups and do stuff like that, and I guess it's all the random stuff that they put on the map too. Like you have chance encounters and things like that. I guess all of that factors into the file size, but that's still pretty huge. So if you want to get it, that'll be December 1st is when that will be available on Steam, and you can start downloading it then, I guess, because it's gonna take a minute, most likely.
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yup.
Dragon Age, the creative director, has founded a new studio called Yellow Brick Games.
Which is cool.
Yeah, I like to follow the Yellow Brick Road thought process, right? I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah, we'll just have to see if anything
but-
ever comes out of it. I mean, we've had a couple of companies, like Ken Levine founded Campfire Games, I want to say is what he went to after he left Irrational, and we still haven't seen anything from him. So,
That's true.
it's just one of those things where it's like, this is cool, but I hope that it's more productive than some of the previous we're starting our new studio things have been.
Definitely.
Yeah, I just think it's good that the creative director is going somewhere, but I mean,
It's worrying.
like some of the comments say, not having the person who created Dragon Age
In
not
terms of the
in
new
Dragon Age,
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, like, and I like some of the comments is like people always want a new Mass Effect or a new Dragon Age or all the different stuff, and it's like most people don't realize that the people who created those aren't there anymore, and what you get after the creative people leave is just a hollow shell of what was. Like, what made Dragon Age so good? What made Dragon Age 2 so good? What made Dragon Age Inquisition
two.
so good? 2 was definitely the lowest out of all three of them. Not saying it was bad, but it was not as good as because you didn't ever get to customize your character. You were
I mean,
told
you
a
can
story
customize
instead
their
of telling the
faces and
story.
everything, and make choices.
Yeah, but you played Hawk, and that was it.
Yeah, but you
Whether it's a lady
but
or
you
male.
you were told a story in Dragon Age, in the first Dragon Age, and you were told a story in
For
Inquisition.
your character. Hell, even the beginning changes based on what race you pick.
So basically what you're
background
saying is
changes.
if there's a cheeseburger, a bacon cheeseburger, and a regular hamburger in the room, it's the hamburger of the joint. It's not bad because it's a hamburger,
yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's still not a bacon cheeseburger. Right?
Exactly. Like,
Right.
you didn't get to customize it. You didn't get to put anything on it. You just get it plain breaded hamburger. Where the other one, you get to kind of add condiments and kind of shape it to the way you want. Maybe you wanted it square. Maybe you wanted it a triangle burger. Maybe you wanted it something... maybe you wanted
Dragon Age
Starburger.
2, it was either just a plain hamburger or a cheeseburger if you wanted to play the female version.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that the female version gets to be the cheeseburger. But yeah, and then they went back to the way it worked in Inquisition and gave you full customization of your character.
Yes and no.
You got to design.
In the first Dragon
who it
Age,
was.
your character's background made a difference in how people interacted with you and how you started the game out. The customization at the start of Inquisition is like, okay, people might react to you slightly differently if you're an elf or a dwarf, but beyond that, here's your reason why you were at the conclave, and here go. Your story will be the same from here on out.
Yeah,
I'm saying this as a person who is currently replaying it, and I love it. I'm not downgrading it.
Inquisition is just the more modern, open version of a heavy RPG, because Dragon Age Origins is a heavy RPG. You know it, you've played it. It is a lot more RPG.
I'll play that at some point.
Inquisition is
That'll take 60 hours.
Is a lot more actiony. Like, there's more emphasis on the combat and things like that. Which is not a bad thing. It's just you got to make sure that you balance it when you come out with things like that. And unfortunately, not having a creative director, or at least one that has a long history of all of your stuff, might not be a good thing for Dragon Age 4. Just saying, be cautious. Do not get your hopes up.
I don't. I'm tempering that. I promise. I hope everybody else is too.
Yes, everybody.
What else we got?
I do definitely want to talk about the Nintendo one. I want to talk about
Go.
We'll get to it in a minute.
Let's go over the
We'll get to it in a
other
minute.
things.
Okay.
You just want me to rant. I see how this goes. So Square Enix is supposedly adjusting due to the pandemic and on also their regular procedures to help out with their employees by sending them home to work there. According to them, they're making it permanent in a core program. In so doing, the company hopes not only to create a flexible and diverse working environment, but also to further bolster productivity and help employees achieve the optimal work-life balance. Which, for those that don't know, the new Avenger game that I'm currently playing was created by Square Enix, and it didn't sell the way that they thought it should. And so this could be a way of them saving on overhead because they don't have to house employees anywhere to kind of make up that difference. But I would much rather them do, hey, go work at home than, hey, we gotta lay a bunch of people off.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with this.
Yes.
But what everybody has to understand, and people have bitched about CD Projekt Red and a bunch of other people delaying their games, this is going to delay games because they don't have the same hardware at home that they do at the office. So please keep in mind, a lot of the games you love that might be supposed to be released in 2021, it might be 2022 before they're released, that you're waiting on because of situations like this. I'm okay with that because I understand that that's the nature of the beast, but not everybody else does. So please keep that in mind.
No shit. Like, it makes me feel better that people will actually be happier and be able to live a little bit better being able to work like this. It's nice. And hell, even with the increase in productivity working from home, it might help bring that time frame back a little bit, because people get burnt out at work, having to go every morning to the office and staying for 50-60 hours, and then you get burned out, things slow down, but you get to stay
But
at
I
home
feel like it's
for
going to be a
4 or
work
5
at your own
days a week.
pace thought process, right? So like, I'm going to spend 5-6 hours a day with my kid, and then when my kid goes to bed, I'm going to go do my work. So I get to spend more time with my child versus being at work and sending them to daycare. So now it's saving the money that way too, because they can spend that time with their younger. Let's say they have a younger kid, so they get to have that bonding moment. So I'm cool with that. I like the idea of this. This is, if more companies were able to do this, I think it would help out a lot, and it would also negate this whole thought process of people working 50, 60 hours a week. They could still work the same amount of time, but it wouldn't feel like it. Because they would be at home. I just hope it doesn't lower their pay because they're at home and not in an actual building.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you bring somebody else in new, but they get a lower pay than everybody else that's tenured in.
I still don't think that you should be expected to work 50 or 60 hours a week, even if you are working from home. That's still ridiculous. 40-hour work week is plenty enough as is. So I think the whole idea of crunch time, because you're still going to have deadlines. It's still going to be, we need you to get this, then this, and this all done in tomorrow, you know? So I think
Right.
that's still going to happen. I just hope that it's not one of those things where it's like, I like working from home, and now I hate it because being at home still reminds me that I have 70 billion things that I have to do for this, this company right this second. It's just,
What some of the comments said
gonna
is that you
partially
have to
be
make
them.
sure that you separate it. Like, you have to make sure that you separate the two zones. Like, you can have your work zone, like, create a spot where you go and sit down and work, and if you're not there, you just pretty much just keep it out of your mind. Which, I mean, it's going to be something for everybody to adjust to. It's welcome to the future. It's a whole different world that we're living in now.
It also makes you wonder if they needed the 50 to 60 hours to start with, if they'd been happier at work. Because you might work at a slower pace because maybe you don't feel like being there, whatever, so it takes you a lot longer to start your day, that type of thing, versus being at home where you could go in and kind of knock it out quickly because you want to spend that time with your children or because you have more to do at home.
We'll find out.
So you go ahead and knock it out. I mean, really, they're going to, it's kind of an experimental program, so good for them. And it saves them money, so we don't have to worry about, trying to find somebody to buy the Final Fantasy franchise, whatever.
Well, you said welcome to the future, but things are also still very much stuck in the past if you are buying anything from eBay, because eBay is having to issue warnings to pay attention to what you're actually buying, and so you're not buying a photo of a PS5. This is a scam from like a million years ago when they first started selling iPhones on eBay. Where it's like, the description says that you're spending $3,000 to buy this photo, obviously. Read the description. People are shitbags. Just, why is this still a thing? Why are people still falling for this?
My favorite is the guy that's selling the empty box.
Yeah.
Because to show you how sad and empty his life is now that he can't get a PS5. But at least he says it. Here's your $5, you get a box.
Here's $5, you get a box.
Oh my God. Along with shitbags, you got people that are also currently selling the PS4 Plus, the PS Plus collection to PS4 owners.
That's
because
so
there's a
sweet.
loophole that
I can't facepalm hard enough at this one.
And basically they figured out that if you log into somebody's PS5 with your PS4 account, that it unlocks on the PS4 all of the collection for that PS4 owner, and then they're just doing it over and over again on their PS5 is what I understand. First of all, what the fuck, Sony? Like, you should have a better way around the security than this. And secondly, what the fuck, douchebags? What the hell are you guys doing? Come on, man. This is why we can't have nice things. Like,
Yep, it's true.
Sony already has a problem trying to get us to game on everything anyway, and now you're making it harder for us.
Like, it'd be one thing if it was like, it's just a couple of people and they're like, I'm gonna unlock this for my friend, and that's fine. But if you're selling access to it, that's a problem. I mean,
It gets crazy at some point because you have to buy someone else's PS Plus account to log on to their they have to log on to their PS5 with your PS4 account.
Yeah.
And then you get their, like...
That's a huge trust
what
issue,
the fuck?
too. Like,
yeah,
okay.
for $30, you best not believe I'm doing that shit. Like, I mean...
Like,
I don't know.
Here's
That
access
one
to all
just
of my
is-
personal information because it's on my PlayStation account that you now have access to. Please don't do anything nefarious. I understand
Well,
that
I
I'm
don't
giving you
know.
$30.
I've already closed off the article. But I don't know if I know that the QR code is mentioned on there. I know that with my phone, I can just scan my QR code from my PS5 and it automatically updated my phone one. So I'm wondering if that's what they're sending and people are logging in their own PS4 and they're just getting sent a QR code.
No, the cell is things
is,
like, I'll log in with my PS5 with your details, add the games, and deactivate. Upon purchase, I highly advise creating a temporary password and creating a new one when it's done. So the person selling it, in this case, is trying to be like, well, we understand this is risky, so make a temporary password and then put your old password, use a new password when you get it back.
Oh yeah, that's
it's
perfectly
still
fine.
access
Let me
to
just
all of
give
your
you the
stuff.
password to my account, into which you can change when you log into it,
Like,
and then I'll give
please
it back.
don't
to
do
you.
this.
Oh yeah, that's gonna fucking work.
in the words of Philip DeFranco, don't be stupid.
That's right.
Oh my god.
Don't do that.
Microsoft is acknowledging Xbox Series X and S performance issues. They're not performing as high as we thought they were. Oh my god, a brand new console that needs a bunch of updates and all this shit's optimized to it. Oh my god, really? That's what happens?
Well, to be fair, you have been very irate about the PlayStation issue. So
yeah, well, I am happy to find out that Assassin's Creed's running at 60 frames per second though. I mean, on a PS5.
Whereas the Xbox
One thing
is
I find crazy
struggling.
about this is that our consoles are starting to look like our AAA release games. Like they come out and they're nowhere near as what they said they were. It's like, oh, we'll just patch it.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker, you're supposed to be doing that with, like, it has evolved from games being shitty on release to now consoles not
Well, it's
working
because
up
we
to
still
par,
buy games
as
on
they
release,
said.
knowing that they're going to be not great. So if we'll do that, why wouldn't we do the same with the consoles? It just stands to
Apparently,
reason.
like, I mean, you're gonna get a fucking box. You're gonna literally, like, they're gonna turn to the eBay where they're gonna send you a box that has a picture inside of it of your console that says, "Go here to download your console on your PC." It's like, or 3D print it yourself or some shit like that. Be like, here, slide this into your 3D printer. It'll print out the console for you.
Some assembly required.
It's like, oh, what? Now I have to download my whole console because you guys don't want to build it?
That's the future, man. That's the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. People now know that the PS5 controller, which those that don't know, I will show it. There's actually a microphone that's built into the bottom of it. So if you don't turn that off, when you go to get a trophy, it records.
How is this not a legal
trophy.
problem? Because it's not opt out. It's not opt in. It's opt out. If it was opt in, there wouldn't be a problem. But there are laws against recording people who don't know they're being recorded. And if you don't see that in the settings because it doesn't tell you anywhere, like in an obvious place anywhere, then reasonably you don't know you're being recorded, and you are. Isn't that illegal? When do we see the lawsuits?
I'm guessing that when you sign in, because just
Nobody
like any
reads
other
terms of
companies out
service.
there, Xbox does it, everybody else, there's a TOS that's put in there that you have to hit agree to. How many people actually fucking read it?
I think
Hardly anyone.
the other side of it too, though, isn't there laws against like recording minors? Because you have to hit agree, but at the same time, like if you're a minor hitting agree on that, how
And
does
I'm trying
your
to
right
think
work
of when
on
I
that?
signed
How
into
do
my
the rights work?
PS5 if there was anything about am I over 18 or anything, and I don't remember that being part of it. But it could be because they're using my already existing account and I'm recognized as over the age of 18.
Maybe.
So that's a possibility.
'Cause I think
but,
that's
we'd
where
have to
it
do more
also
research
gets-
on it to find out.
Gets weird. Like, I understand it's just basically what it is it when you unlock a trophy, the PlayStation records not only the video of you unlocking it, like the screen capping, I guess, it also records the audio if you've got your gamepad in your hand, unless you turn it off. So if you're just chit-chatting and unlock a trophy, that audio is now saved.
Better not
to
be
that...
talking about any government secrets while playing
It's
your
not
PS5.
even. I don't even think it's government secrets necessarily, but it's just one of those things where it's recording you with probably not your express knowledge. Because this is a shocking thing that we're having a news coverage bit about. It means most of us didn't know it right out of the gate. Like, oh, how many achievements have you already unlocked? How many things have you said that it has recorded and you didn't realize it recorded?
Well, and that's the thing is I'm going back through my videos today. Like I was like, I saw this article and I was like, did I turn that feature off? Because I felt like I turned the microphone off because I didn't want it live.
Yeah.
But I was like, did I? And so now I'm going to go back through and be like, you know, I could have been like, oh man, this pizza's good. Like,
I'm thinking
trophy,
like,
you know?
what if you know, like you realize
delicious.
that
Thank you
it'll
for the
show
trophy.
you the video and you're like, oh cool, I can show my friend Karen this trophy that I unlocked because I did a cool thing when I killed the boss, and you were having a conversation at the time that you'd forgotten about with your other friend. And you're like, I hate Karen. She smells like feet. And all of a sudden, Karen gets to hear that while you're trying to show her this cool thing you did. And now you've ruined your relationship with Karen. Way to go. Thanks, PlayStation.
God damn it, Karen.
Or you're playing a shitty Sony game, right? Like, let's say there's one that they made that was bad.
Okay.
And in the thing, you're like, I can't believe it took me this long to beat this shitty fucking Sony game, right? And then Sony somehow figures out a way to slow down your PS5
They
even
just
slower
brick it.
than 30 frames per second.
29.9.
Yes, just to fuck with you. That could happen. You don't know.
I think
We
it's
did run through this
bizarre.
problem once before with the Kinect. For those that don't know, Microsoft was recording conversations at one point as well off their Kinect. So please, if you have a microphone setting, please turn the shit off.
It doesn't
That's-
even. It's
that's
not
my
even if you
PSA
have a
for the day.
microphone setting, because the microphone's built into the controller that you're holding. So you have to turn it off because you have the microphone already there. You don't have to plug in anything auxiliary. And I think that's another reason that it caught a lot of people off guard, is because I don't have anything plugged in. I wasn't wearing a headset with it. Oh no, it just passively records from your hands where you're holding it, even though you didn't realize that it was recording. Anytime there's recording involved, it should be opt-in, not opt-out. That is just
Yes.
across the board in
Everything
any
needs to be-
platform.
In my opinion, everything needs to be opt-in. Like, everything. Like, you need to make the conscientious choice to do something. It should not be automatically
And it shouldn't be
registered
hidden
for
in
you.
terms of service that you know nobody's reading. Like, everybody at this point
I
knows
don't
that they can
disagree.
hide whatever they want in terms of service, because it's 756 pages of things that we can't understand because it's legalese.
Well, and I'm pretty sure that like Apple's supposed to take a kidney from me at some point because I've never
Yeah.
read their terms.
Yeah, you
Their-
probably
sure.
signed up for that.
And Microsoft gets the other one. I don't know what Sony gets. My brain. I have no idea at the end of the day.
Trying
I
to get your
know
firstborn.
Apple just wants one of your kids at some point.
That shit's so weird.
Too funny. All right, chicken. Here you go, buddy. Last one.
So, first of all, I never realized, as Baka is right here with me, I never realized for the last 20 years that they have stopped making Kadabra cards.
Yeah. Like,
For
because in
Pokemon.
the games, the Kadabra line is still there. It's still played. Even Alakazam got a mega evolution in the games. But for some reason, yeah, they stopped making Kadabra cards because of the lawsuit.
Yeah, from this guy, Yuri Geller.
Is that how you
which,
say his name?
okay, Yuri Geller.
Yuri.
Okay, I
Geller.
was like-
Okay, so in Japanese, Kadabra is translated into Youngerer or Youngeller, and famously touted the spoon. Now, this person
Dude,
thinks
person.
that this Pokemon is made after him. So 20 years ago, he threw himself a hissy fit, a tantrum, a whiny time to throw lawsuits at Nintendo to get them to stop making that one specific one, apparently. Now, here we are 20 years later. I am truly sorry for what I did 20 years ago. Kids and grown-ups, I am releasing the ban. It's now all up to Nintendo to bring back my Kadabra Pokemon card
Oh my
back.
god, it's not
It
yours!
will probably be one of the rarest cards now. Much energy and love to all. First of all, this dude is so fucking narcissistic. It's unbelievable
Yeah.
that he thinks that Nintendo would base this off of him.
It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't look
I-
like
I-
Let
him.
me
I
start
can
on Yuri
see
Geller
where-
while you're doing that. Go ahead.
Well,
Buck
okay,
it.
looking at it, I can see where there is some
Not
similarity as far as like with the name and the spoon thing, but that should have been chalked up to like, oh well, it's just a reference. It's not a blatant like rip off or anything.
I agree.
So, Yuri Geller, for those who are not familiar with this man, was a magician well, he's still a magician. He's like 4 decades in, I think. He's been a magician forever. He is not looked upon very kindly in the magic, I don't know what you call them, club, that whole group. And the reason why is because at one point he was claiming that he was really telekinetic, that he had real magic powers, and he was doing it in such a way, and he was scamming people. Like, one of the things that he's famous for doing was in order to be able to keep people on his stage, is he would actually tell them their license number to their car. So, and what it was is his manager was following them from their car.
That's creepy.
Would write it down, and then he would call them out. It was on there, and he was told ahead of time what it was, and that was part of the trick. So he would keep people in on that, and he was convinced these people that he had actual magical telepathic powers. And James Randi, he was a famous magician, also a skeptic, actually wrote an entire book on this guy about how horrible a human he was. Like, how bad. Let me tell you, I'm pissed about him in the magic world. I'm super pissed at him that there's a bunch of kids that don't have fucking Kadabra cards because he's this narcissistic asshole that now, 20 years later, he's claiming it's his fucking card.
It's because he probably needed something to try to make himself relevant with again. So he's like, oh, by the way, I still exist, you guys. It's like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Also, Nintendo should never have stood for this. Nintendo should have let it go to court.
I think it is funny that he's doing this after James Randi died.
Well, that's also true. Opportunistic.
Yep. Yeah. He died, September, August? Something like that? It was earlier.
Yeah, a few months ago, not too long ago.
Yeah, I don't think it was too long ago.
No.
Yeah.
But that's just...
But James Randi, besides doing the magic thing and debunking,
about a month ago,
Yuri Geller, he actually had a thing set up so he would pay someone like a crap ton of money if they could prove that they had genuine, like, supernatural abilities, like psychics or anything. He'd be like, I will give you this money if you don't want it for yourself. We can donate it to a charity of your choice, but they had to be under like certain conditions of like, okay, well, we control the room and the setup and everything else for it, and you just have to prove that you can consistently keep doing this ability, and us not be able to come in and debunk it and show that, look, we can do it too, because it's just a stupid magic trick. No one ever came forth to
clearly.
Well, people came to try to claim it, but they were always able to just to go, no, this is how the trick works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as fastidious as Nintendo has been about people encroaching on their properties, they won't even let you do Let's Plays on YouTube and things like that because Nintendo is sacred, I guess. I don't know. Why did they not let this go on to court? I mean, I guess it was 20 years ago and they were like, maybe it doesn't matter, but I think even then Pokemon was big enough that they should have wanted to defend it. I don't understand why they didn't. I don't get it.
I guess because it could have been that their lawyers looked at it and said, there's not a whole lot we're going to be able to do. Because of the fact that there's a few factors to look at. First of all, the character has a spoon in his hand, which Yuri Geller was famous for bending spoons. That's how he got famous right off the bat. That was part of his telekinetic powers that he possibly had. Was being able to bend spoons, which has been, it's a long time at magic trick. The other thing is you have the name Kadabra, which we think of abracadabra as being a magician. It also happens to be young Geller, and his last name's Geller. So it's like this combination of all this stuff. I think they just kind of went, it's going to be really hard to prove that he's not correct.
No, I think it would be hard to prove that he was correct still. It looks nothing like him. It has a spoon. There's a lenience in the law for parody. I mean,
it's just money being thrown in the wind by both of these people. Like, Nintendo would fight it for sure.
I think
and
Nintendo
maybe they would
could
win
have
at the
won
very
that,
end.
pretty
But
easily.
I mean, for a single card, is it worth it?
When they have
But the way
like,
that Nintendo
over
is, it seems like they
300
would have.
Pokemon now.
I mean,
They can
Did you just say
just focus
300
on.
Pokemon? They've got like 900 Pokemon.
well, I mean, the whole
now.
year
I said
2020.
over 300.
Yeah, they're closer
He's
to
still
almost
not wrong.
1,000.
The whole year of
You're
2020
way
can
behind
sue
there,
them
bud.
now because they have a trash bag Pokemon, and clearly that's 2020's thing. So.
Oh, that was like 700 Pokemon ago, Griff. You're so far, but there's so many more new ones to complain about.
Yeah,
God
that was at the
Yeah,
same
Trash
time
Bag came
as
out with a
the
set of
ice cream
keys,
cone.
man. What's wrong with you? Come on.
Exactly. Like you
That's
gotta
when I
come- you
stopped
gotta
paying
come to the
attention
future.
when we were making the
They've
inanimate
got a
objects in
chandelier Pokemon now.
I don't need that in my life. Thanks.
And this is why I stick to my first 3 generations, and I am happy with that.
No.
There's too many after that.
Too funny. Well, Yuri Geller can fuck off. That's all I gotta say about that. But
Yeah.
yay for him saying he's no longer gonna do anything with a lawsuit that's 20 years old.
Yeah. I mean, it's past the point of relevance, I guess. Let's get out of here
Yeah.
so I can go play some Skyrim, yo.
That works for me. I'm hungry. I want to eat. We appreciate everybody that hangs out with us each and every week in Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDB Oaktree. Check out Griff.
At Griff's Lineham.
Check out Chicken.
Adelie Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure you go to Griff's YouTube channel where she's currently playing through Skyrim. Woo woo.
Yeah.
Make sure you hit that sub button along with the little bell so you get those notifications. She sends out 2 or 3 a week, so that's always fun. So make sure you check those out. Also go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313 where he's now back live. Woo woo woo, playing some Ghost of Tsushima. Just trying to die a lot. So he's not really
Oh, I
playing.
ain't
he's
trying.
learning.
I am dying so much, and it is so easy.
It's so easy to die.
Exactly.
I'm the best at dying, he says. I got
I walk
this.
into that shit and I die. Like, I do it on purpose.
Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/MDB Oaktree where you can check me out every day of the week except for Wednesday. And I think that's it. For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oaktree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Chicken.
Baka.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.